It's been 10 years since we had an official project. Are you gonna do this?
The last deal was just like that was it.
That was it.
That was
it was like,
that's what they spoke on. Like that was the starting point, but it was a lot all the way to that.
Right.
Like he said, that was the bluff call. If the brotherhood can't make us come together, if the culture can't make us come together, let me see if it's maybe a bag. Let me see if it's that. Then is it money motivated?
Right.
Because cool. Let me see this, and that couldn't do it. So it was just like, all right, it's over. It's over.
It's over.
Over.
No more talk.
It's over.
No more talk. No more talk. Cypress Hill sampling Redman. Time for some action. And that's what Rise and Fall was. There's no more talk, man. Let's just tell the fans. The fans deserve to know what's going on. Let's tell them what's going on. Do what we always do. Rap about what the fuck happens in our life. Mm-hmm. Don't disrespect nobody. Don't put no smut on nobody's name. No bitch ass nigga, fuck you, pussy ass. None of that.
Right.
No ethers, no Vaseline, no hit 'em ups, no hoot shot you.
Yeah.
None of that.
Right.
This is what went on.
Just what it is.
This is what it is. Audio documentary. And niggas kind of jumped out the window. Now, I don't mind them having a response. That's on you. But it was laced with disrespect, the responses. And that was the problem. That was the issue. We could have went crazy on that rollout and been like, yo, you see that shit what they were saying on Joe's show? Nigga, fuck that shit. I'm finna give it up.
Yeah, because your man was like, I'm not above this record, nigga.
But that was on the second round.
Yeah.
You got me? They had already got all their feelings out and said what they didn't like, and, you know, they did it for money, and that bag went out the fucking window when Slaughterhouse, when Slaughterhouse didn't do it, that bag went out the window.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
that was a deal presented for Slaughterhouse.
yeah,
Right.
it wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's not Slaughterhouse. That's gone. We didn't take the leftover money.
Yeah,
all right,
is
you
it
guys
like,
don't
okay,
want the bag?
bag,
We'll
all right.
go take it. No, it was
We're
not.
gonna take, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
It was a total different situation.
Yeah, it's over.
And the situation was me and him was already doing it.
We already had an album.
We had an album, Hard.
Yeah.
We was already planning before that whole shit we was already planning to make music and albums together, period.
So there's nothing to
So it
double
wasn't
back
like,
and
oh,
say,
we did this because they did. Nah, this was happening. We making albums.
Yeah.
But it's all about what do we want to talk about? Well, you know what? It was pretty fucked up what just happened to the group. Let's talk about that and get that medicine.
Yeah, because I'm tired of putting out something and it'd be a solo joint and they'd be like, what's up with Slaughter? And it's just like, protecting people's, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just holding on and dragging. I'm done. I don't want to drag this.
Yeah, let's
You know,
kill it.
I'm tired. Let's just let's clear the air so we can all move forward.
So y'all burnt the pig on the cover.
Yeah, the pig.
It burnt on the cover? Was the cover?
Yeah, that was the
The
logo.
pig is on fire.
Oh,
Yeah, the pig.
You burnt the pig?
No, we burnt the real pig.
That's what I thought you was
in the
talking
commercial.
about.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, we had that
we
on the
roasted
cover
a
too?
real pig, but the thing is that it was a metaphor for we're getting this out of our lives. This has to go. This is toxic. This is fucking up our mental health. We need to get this shit off the fucking plate and go forward. Let's burn this shit out of our lives. And then we show motherfuckers burning the merch. They're like, "Yay, burning the merch." It was inspired by when LeBron leaves the team and the Cleveland burns the jersey and all that shit.
Yeah.
The fans
We didn't burn it.
We didn't burn it. The fans were
burned
burning.
it.
Like, what? This shit is over? I'm burning this shit.
Yeah.
But when you are in a certain mindset and mind state, you think everything is a dig.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not. Everything that we do is not a dig at Slaughterhouse. It's just not. You feel me?
So,
Go ahead, say it. Yeah, I know you want to ask it. I know you're gonna go there.
what am I asking?
You're gonna say, is there any way that they can reconcile? But it doesn't sound like it right now. It's over.
Is this
See,
your
you can
R&B
sing too.
record?
There we
You can
go.
sing
Is this
too,
your
bro.
R&B record?
You can sing too, bro.
Yeah, I can. It's
Bill
over.
Withers.
All right, James Brown. Don't give him Bill Withers.
Don't give me Bill.
Entertainer, maybe. I don't know about a singer. No, actually, the question I wasn't gonna ask a question. I was gonna more make a statement. I was disappointed. My feelings was hurt when I heard the whole thing from start to finish. When it all started to when it all basically cleared out, I felt gross about all of it. I didn't know who to be angry at. It's like watching one of my. It was almost felt like watching somebody I know get life in prison. Like you just know you're never gonna see him again. It was disappointing on all levels.
Damn.
At my most,
that's kind of hitting hard.
bro.
Let him speak his truth.
I wrote their first interview. I sat with them when they were doing that 6-day thing. I remember being in the studio when they were like over the boards watching the shit. Like for it to go from that to this, I remember asking him like, "Yo, y'all are so tight. I feel like one of y'all would punch me if I." And he was like, "Yeah, but I'd snuff you first." Like that was him.
Yeah, it was dead ass.
I remember he was dead ass.
I always am.
He was dead, and for that to come to this, that shit hurt my feelings. And I'll say the most. Y'all could have just not said nothing, and I'd feel better about it. Y'all could have.
But would we feel better?
I don't know, but I'm telling you how I felt as a fan, and maybe somebody who's got a closer perspective than the average.
Right.
It almost felt like somebody announcing that they're leaving Twitter. Like, bro, just go. You don't have to say nothing. That way the door's open to come back. Don't announce a retirement. Why would you do that? Because now if you want to come back in a couple of years, if you get the urge,
You can just Tom Brady.
you can come back. Right.
Yeah.
And for y'all, when you make it so final and put a nail in the coffin, and no one has done anything to violate anybody to the point where we're past the conversation in a few years.
I don't know.
You're not privy.
I don't know.
I'm not, but I'm telling you what I saw. And I'm telling you, like
That's how you felt.
The same people who would sit there and speak out their ass and go, Crook needs Slaughterhouse, when those of us who know that that's not a fact. Same people who would say Joell needs Slaughterhouse, when those of us who know that that's not a fact. Those of us who walk through those of us who walk through the buildings and hear the reference tracks going off and like, that's fucking motherfucker. I ain't even gonna call them. That's some shit. We know better than that.
Yeah.
Y'all could have just not said.
But why leave the door open? I don't plan on going back into.
Because nobody ever plans on going back when they go back. It's always true until it's not.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make you a liar to change your mind. It's always true until it's not. I love that woman, and I'm gonna stay with that woman. He meant it until he didn't.
Yeah.
I'ma never quit. I'ma never stop rapping. I'ma be a nigga for life. I'ma be in the hood for life. He meant it until he didn't. Until he didn't. It was true up until it wasn't. And there's nothing final except for death. And we all still living. So it didn't have to be final. And I feel like that album made it more final than it had to be.
Does it felt final to you?
It feels like y'all ain't friends no more. Whereas if the album wasn't there, I would still be under the impression that maybe brothers fight. Maybe y'all just not getting along right now. Maybe Joe snaps out of whatever it is that kept him from making those songs.
I'm not a diva anymore.
Even, or maybe, Joe deals with shit like,
I'm fucking around,
the way he deals with shit, like I've known him for a good chunk of his career, and I've watched him go through the ups and downs of like the, mental health and shit like that, and the things he deals with. Maybe something happens with him. Maybe something happens with Royce. Maybe 2-3 years from now, y'all are all doing the show and have a beer.
I'm glad it made you feel like that.
That's why I'm sitting here quiet.
Yeah, I'm
like,
super
yes.
I'm super happy.
Yes.
Because art is supposed to bring out the emotion.
Yes. I'm like,
Laugh
That shit, hey.
Laugh at his pain.
No, I'm not laughing.
I know.
Nah, but
No,
damn.
but it's
I'm
like,
yes.
damn, that should have moved him.
Right. Yeah.
That shit moved him.
I was there from the beginning. Starting Slaughterhouse,
That shit is moving.
being able to take credit for what you guys did.
I told you he's taking credit for that. I told you that.
You're fucking right.
Tell
They
you.
wouldn't have each other's numbers if it wasn't for me. I gave them each other's numbers. I gave them
Wow.
Royce didn't have Joe's number. I gave it to him. Vice versa. Then Crook. Then I gave Joe Budden Crooked Eye's number. They wouldn't be able to call each other. He was Crooked Eye back then. They wouldn't be able to
I don't
call
know.
each
Nino
other.
got something to say about that.
Ask Ask him. I don't give a fuck who was. Ask him. I remember the conversations. I have your verse. I
I smoked
know
that joint too.
Yeah,
I'm just fucking with you.
No, you did your numbers. I didn't know how it was. I just knew my idea was gonna work. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Being a part of that, watching the baby get born, doing the first interview in the Source, campaigning for the mics when we were rating it, like being in that all day, all night conversation when we were yelling at each other trying to get those mics together, and people were arguing for a 5, and somebody was going 4.5, and we were like really beefing. That was a box I checked on my career. I wasn't just observing
I got it.
hip hop anymore.
Yeah.
I actually contributed something. And it was great. I didn't put some bullshit in the game. I didn't just do something for money. I actually did something on some cultural shit. And even though my part was like this big, what they turned out to be, I was like,
And then when you wasn't looking one day, the
they-
baby fell in the blender.
Damn.
And it was just over. And it
It
was
wasn't
just
like
over.
the baby fell in the blender. It's like they shot
Somebody
it.
pushed the baby
Yeah, it's
into
like,
the
it's like you shot it. It's like, oh man, like, oh, I'd
Sorry,
rather you
Mac.
just not said nothing.
Yeah,
coulda
you
said
guys broke his heart,
nothing.
man.
Sorry, Mac.
In a manner of speaking.
sorry,
It was
man.
like somebody took my plaque.
So on the flip side of that,
Don't be selfish.
if
Fuck that.
if on the flip side, if it helps us to move on and brings us therapy, is that a bad thing?
You don't hear me beefing at you. I'm not mad at nobody. You don't hear me yelling at you. I didn't cut you off. I didn't
Right,
like,
no, yeah,
call
I'm
you
just-
and what the fuck is wrong? You didn't get no angry phone calls
Yeah.
from me, no angry text messages from me. I can't salt no man for doing what's best for him. That's what we all supposed to do. And somewhere in their minds, what I always keep in mind is that no one is the villain in their own story. When Joe tells this story, he's not the bad guy as far as he's concerned. He's never gonna be. Royce won't be. You won't be. You won't be. Nobody's the bad guy in their own story.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing.
But facts will remain facts, right?
No one's their truth is gonna be their truth.
No, there's the truth.
I say
Here's the truth. We got on
key-
Shady.
There's the truth.
The one
Years
key
changed
point
and nothing happened. You
was
saw that.
the length of time that you
Right.
guys were off Shady and nothing was done in that time.
Yeah,
That raises a question mark on the other side.
yeah.
And then why did we get off Shady? That's a question mark.
For Joe.
Exactly.
And then once you were off, Joe said,
But why did Joe want to get off Shady? Like,
so you guys
it's
could own
just
it.
it's
You
just
have a bigger slice. Right?
that
So
what
you
told-
could own everything that came back from it, right?
That's what he explained in here.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I guess
That's my first time hearing
that was the first time I heard that as
he
well.
said it. He said it here.
No, I'm saying.
No, I get it.
He should have said that to us. That was my first time hearing that ever. I only heard that he not fucking with M and Paul. That's all I heard.
This Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard.